Right now, what matters is your life. That is what matters. That breast. Stop admiring it as I'm talking to you right now. My name is Uju. I'm a breast cancer survivor and advocate. I chose my life over a part of my body. I'm a cat of 9 lives. I was diagnosed of breast cancer on the 24th of July 2019. It's something I never imagined that would happen to me, but it did. There was no breast cancer history in my family. I happened to be the first in my generation. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I was living a healthy life, not because I was afraid of having cancer, but I was watching my weight. So most of these things that I was asked not to take now, I don't take them even before I was diagnosed. I discovered a lump and went to the hospital. So the first place I went to, the doctor felt it was nothing, that it was nothing to worry about. I asked him specifically if it would result to cancer, but he said no, that it was nothing, that I shouldn't worry about it, I should just go. Okay, so I left, went home. Like 6 months later, I started feeling pains at that point. And I also noticed a swelling under my armpit, which I thought was a boil. So I went back to the hospital, not because of the swelling under my armpit, but because of the pains in my breast. So I complained to him. I complained about the swelling as well. So he said that the swelling is a lymph node, that it's as a result of that lump in my breast, that when the lump is removed, the swelling would go as well. I said, okay. So I scheduled for a surgery like 2 weeks after then. I went back. It was supposed to be an excisional biopsy, that is taking out the entire lump. But inside the theater, they just took out some tissue, So I asked question, why are you not taking out the entire lump? He said that that was bleeding a lot, that it was under a local anesthesia, that this would be enough, that a test would be conducted and they will take it out from there. I said, okay. I wanted to get angry, but I just said, let me just allow him to do what he's doing. So after that, I went on. He asked me to come back in 10 days for my result. So 10 days later, I went back. When I got to the doctor's office, he asked me if I was alone. I said yes. That time, I sensed something was wrong. But I just said, no, I can't have cancer. No, I can't have. I started binding and casting. He said to me, we've done the test and I'm sorry to say that it's cancerous, stage 2 invasive ductal carcinoma. I didn't know what to say. So he gave me tissue. I said, that I should calm down. He said, cancer is not a death sentence. The worst thing that could happen would be you taking out that breast, I stood up immediately and said, God forbid, I'd rather die than cutting off my breast. He was still talking to me. I just left his office. I went home, went straight to my sister's room. I just fell on her bed and started crying. She said, Uju, what is it? What happened? She didn't even know that I went to the hospital to collect the result. She said, what happened? What is it? Is everything okay? What happened? I just gave her the result. I said, the doctor said it's cancer. She quickly said, that's not your result. Uju, you don't have cancer. She said, I've not heard anything about cancer, even in our kindred. So how will you say it's cancer? He said that result must be wrong. We are going somewhere else to do that test. The next day, they called me and said, we'll schedule you to see an oncologist that I should come over to the hospital for that. And when I got to his office, so he checked the results, went through everything. I started crying. He said, what are your fears? So I started narrating my whole dreams. He said to me, bro, you can still achieve these things. The only thing is that there's going to be a delay, because right now, what matters is your life. You have to focus on saving your life first. I said, okay, that I have to do another test. From that test, we'll know if I have to go do only chemo or only surgery, or if I have to do the 3 chemo surgery, hormonal therapy, 4, and radiotherapy. But he said that the position where the cancer is, that they will just remove the lump and do a wide, he called it wide local surgery. That is removing the surroundings of the lump, surrounding tissues of where the lump was. So, okay. So that one, I was a bit relieved that, oh, my breast will be saved. Because I asked about the course. He told me like that one course of chemo would be about between 500,000 and 700,000, and that's huge for me. At that moment, I took a decision to go to the government hospital where the doctor came from, and the place, it's a cancer center, one of the cancer centers in Nigeria. So I decided to go there. So I had in mind that that same doctor would be my oncologist, because I loved the way he spoke with me. He listened. So in fact, I was with him for over 3 hours. I would talk, cry, he would just be listening to me. So I said I would still go. I still want him to be my oncologist. But when I got to the hospital, I asked after him. They said, okay, he's an oncologist, but he's not in this department. He's in nuclear medicine. I said, okay, so I had to see another oncologist. You see, it's not even, he's not even handling those kind of cases there in the hospital, but in the private hospital, they invite him to handle such cases. Sure. So then they requested that I retrieve the block, that is the tissue they removed, that I retrieve the block and do another test, confirmatory test. So I went back to the hospital, retrieved the block and took it there. So they did another test and they still cancerous. So the doctor said, okay, with this you have to go through three treatments: chemotherapy first, surgery, that is mastectomy. Mastectomy is the removal of the affected breast, then radiotherapy. So when he mentioned mastectomy, I started crying. I said, no. He said to me, Uju, I'm talking to you like a sister. You have to stop admiring that breast from today. He said that this thing is a serious something. It's very serious. That right now, what matters is your life. That is what matters. That breast. Stop admiring it as I'm talking to you right now.